Hello, and welcome back to another segment of Rate the Leadership. I am your host, Jai Mays, and I am so excited to be here again with you all today. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel, and I pray that you all get value out of this video today. Also, as you guys can see, we have a new sign, Rate the Leadership. As I said in my previous video, my husband is hooking me up. He's moved me from my little small starter studio up in the home down to the basement. So we are getting this studio together. So I'm glad that you guys are on this journey with us, because here's the tip I'll give you. Anything that you're starting, you don't have to be perfect to start. Okay, and nothing will ever come to fruition if you do not start. So here's the tip: start and perfect it along the way. And that's what we're doing here on Rate the Leadership. Okay, so we have a great show for you today. We are going to rate, I would say we are going to rate RFK Kennedy Jr. on his Senate questions when he was in his Senate hearing to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services. But we are not going to rate RFK Jr. We are going to rate the Senate and the Congress. We're going to rate their questions, because some of these questions just don't make sense. And I'm trying to figure out in my head, how did we get to the point where we have to answer to this type of leadership? So what I want you all to rate is not RFK Jr. I want you all to rate the Congress and the Senate and the questions they are presenting, i.e., Mr. Bernie Sanders, Miss Elizabeth Warren, and then another that we have, Miss Rochester. And honey, I don't even know what Miss Rochester's talking about. I mean, these Senate questions, listen, here's what I want you to rate. We have two parties that are questioning RFK Jr. We have Democrats questioning him, and we also have Republicans questioning him. And I want you all to rate the leadership on the two parties and their questions. And when we come back, we will see, are we under good leadership? Should RFK Jr. have to even answer to these people? How did we even elect these? Did we elect good leadership to have to answer to? That's what I want to know in this video. So let's get this thing started. We're going to listen to RFK Jr.'s opening statement, and then we're going to go through this compilation of videos to figure out, how did we get here? Okay, as a country, how did we get here? Let's get this thing started. Here we go.
It was about uniting Americans, Democrats and Republicans. There's no issue that unites us more than this chronic health epidemic. There's no such thing as Republican children or Democratic children. These are our kids. 66% of them are damaged. I know what a healthy kid looks like, because I had so many of them in my family. I didn't know anybody with a food allergy growing up, peanut allergy. Why do 5 of my kids have allergies? Why are we seeing these explosions in diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, neurological diseases, depression, all of these things that are related to toxins in the environment? Why can't we just agree with each other? Put differences about so many issues, intractable issues aside, and say, we're going to end this. I don't think anybody is going to be able to do this like I am, because of my peculiar experience, because I've litigated against these agencies. When you litigate against them, you get a PhD in corporate capture and how to unravel it. I've written 6 books about these agencies. I know a lot about them, and I know how to fix it. And there's nobody who will fix it the way that I do, because I'm not scared of vested interest. All these Democrats are opposed to me for partisan issues. They used to be my friends. Agreed with me on all the environmental issues that I've been working on for my whole career.
So what happened? And let me ask you all something. Who is against making America healthy again? But before we get into that, I forgot, we have to go over the characteristics of a good leader. And again, I'm missing my lovely commandments, which are the foundation of good leadership. But we're also going to go over, and those are the 10 commandments, so you guys will look them up. But I forgot to go over our characteristics of a good leader. So let's go over those real quick so we'll know what we're looking for when we're rating the Senate questions, and we're also rating RFK Jr., which I like his opening statement. Did you guys hear this? And this is coming from my 70-year-old mother as well. She says, no, honey, we didn't have all of these chronic diseases. And I can attest to that. I have never seen as many Black children in my life who cannot talk. Something is going on. I have never seen this many autistic children in my lifetime. And yes, it is directly affecting my family. So I want to get to the bottom of this as well, RFK. And I don't understand anyone who does not want to get behind this. Something has got to be mentally wrong with you. You do not want to make America healthy for the next generation and even for us. No one wants to die early. Jesus did say the cut off would be 70 years old and through strength you can make it. Well, I'm trying to make it through strength and we've got all of this polluted food. So who is against this? Rate the leadership. Code. Okay, so let's go over accountability, integrity, resilience, decision-making, confidence, self-awareness. Communication, you're going to communicate effectively. Active listening, vision, courage, delegation, empowerment, respect, transparency, adaptability, influence, collaboration, honesty, humility, creativity, innovation, empathy, and great problem solving. I heard all of this with RFK Jr. And yes, there has been times that he has made some mistakes in the past, but who hasn't? He's made enough mistakes to know what he needs to fix, and he's seen enough things to know what he needs to fix in America. And these people are against this? Rate the leadership. Let's get started. So we're going to bring in, you guys heard that opening statement. We're going to bring in a reasonable person who is asking reasonable questions. Now I want you to weigh, okay? Weigh the good and the bad here of these Senate questions. Let's go. Let's go. You tell me, are these good or bad? Let's go.
Look at this room. We hadn't had a full room in here since I've been in here 4 years on any hearing. Thank you for bringing the light to what this is all about. It's about health in our country. There might have been a half a dozen people in the last Health and Human Services nominee. Nobody was interested. Lawyer who worked from home in California. Didn't do a damn thing in terms of what we needed when COVID was full steam. So thank you. Thank you for getting our young people involved. My two boys, 28 and 30, a year or so ago, they were going to vote for you for President of the United States. You know why? Because you're trying to save their group of people from the chemicals and the things that we have in our food. They're fired up about it. And you brought light to that. And thank God you've done that. You brought importance to what we're doing.
Yes, he did. And I am so glad someone brought that up and thanked him for bringing awareness. If RFK Jr. had not brought awareness to the chemicals in the food, we wouldn't really know what's going on. But now we do. And now we're getting ready to bring in, I'm going to show you the people who are against them. Listen, we need to keep an eye on these folks. How did they even get in leadership? I don't know. But here is the lovely Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren. And you all tell me, is she? Does it seem like she's for the children, or does it seem like she's protecting another corporation? You tell me. I don't get this. Rate the leadership. Let's go.
You to commit right now that you will not take a financial stake in every one of those lawsuits so that what you do as secretary will also benefit you financially down the line.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You and I, you have said
You're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
No. Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country.
So, Elizabeth Warren, are you worried about the health and the chronic diseases going on in our children, or are you worried about him suing the pharmaceutical companies? Help make this make sense. What are you worried about, Elizabeth Warren? Are you worried about the children? And listen, you all go back and watch the whole thing. I'm just giving you the highlights here, the important pieces here. Elizabeth Warren, are you worried about the children, or are you worried about your pockets? I don't know. You guys rate this. Rate the leadership. Let's get going. Okay, here's Mr. Bernie Sanders and his ridiculous questions. Here we go.
America healthier than other countries in the world right now?
Will you guarantee do what every other major country does? It's a simple question.
And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies, it's in Congress too. Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no,
and
no,
protecting
no, no,
their interests.
Oh, I thought that would.
Did you guys see that? Oh, no. You can't make this stuff up. Rate the leadership. Bernie, did he just call Bernie Sanders out? Oh my God. Let's rewind this. Oh my goodness. Here we go.
Millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no,
and
no,
protecting
no, no,
their
Oh,
interests.
let's go back.
It's in
Let's go
Congress
back.
too.
Okay.
Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself.
Oh, did he say almost all the members of this panel? Did he just call them out like that? Well, there's your transparency. Right. The leadership. Here we go.
Are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no,
and
no,
protecting
no,
their interests.
Oh, I thought that would. No. I ran for president like you. I got millions and millions of contributions.
And protecting their interests. This panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no,
and
no,
protecting
no,
their interests.
Oh, I thought that would. No. I ran for president like you. I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
In 2020, you were the single largest
Because I had
receiver of pharmaceutical money.
contributions from workers all over this country. Workers,
You were the
not a nickel from corporate
Bernie,
PACs.
you were the single largest acceptor of pharmaceutical dollars.
No, from workers in the industry.
1.5 million.
Yeah, out of 200 million. All right.
Let's keep going. Rate the leadership.
But you have not answered last question. You have not answered my question.
Mr. Chairman, we're 3 minutes
Ask you a
over.
question.
How do we
We're-
make
he is-
America
Miss-
healthy if you don't guarantee health
Chairman,
care
we're
to all
literally
people?
3 minutes over here now.
Well, so are other
How long
people.
does it keep going? At some time, you're just battering the witness,
Not
Bernie.
battering the whistles.
Yes, you
Oh my goodness, guys, this is too much. Let me tell you something. Right now is the most important. I've never paid attention to politics, honestly, this deep. Well, let me tell you, from Barack Obama came in 2008. And that's when I started paying attention because, oh my goodness, he was the first black president. And they made him this idol, right? And I'm going to be honest, I do want my 2008 vote back. And that's a whole nother segment. But I didn't start really paying attention to politics until 2008. And I really got into it when the Trump administration came into play because there was a big thing between Hillary and President Trump. And then all of this stuff started coming out. But now in 2025, I can't turn away. I mean, this is better than any movie, any production. This is real life going on. And these policies that these people are putting forth affect us every day. So I'm going to tell you now, pay attention. So we're going to move on to the last video to Miss Rochester. I don't know who this lady is, but honey, she got on my last nerve, and I'm going to just let you guys rate it, because we're talking about chronic diseases affecting the children, and you all are going to be surprised. You probably won't, but what her main concern is, especially when it comes down to the Black community. We are dealing with chronic illnesses, children who cannot read, children who are nonverbal. And listen, I'm going to let you guys see it. I'm going to let you guys rate it. We'll talk about it after this video is over. Let's get started. Here we go.
A major part of that.
Absolutely. My uncle started the Presidential Council on Physical Fitness. I won a contest when I was in school. I got an award for it, and it was a piece of pride for me. And for many people in my generation, I'm sure Coach, won his presidential.
I want to move on. I want to move on to another national security threat. The biggest existential threat to America is the Chinese Communist Party. And right now we're importing 1/3 of our medicines from China. And even more of our generic drugs come from China. It's a public health risk and a national security risk.
Now, I want you all to listen to this qualified question. Now, I consider this a qualified question. All the other questions that these senators have been asking have been irrelevant. But this right here, to me, is a qualified question. What do you think? Let's keep going.
What can you do as HHS Secretary to reduce our reliance on China and help our domestic manufacturers?
This is a huge priority for President Trump. He sees this as perhaps our greatest national security vulnerability.
By the way, RFK Jr., he's got a cute wife. She's just sitting in the back looking stunning. I'm here for it, honey. Now, that's how you represent as a wife. Strong, confident, beautiful. That's how you come in and support her right there. I like that. Let me keep going.
And over the past few years, so much of our essential medicines, the production of them and the supply chains have been exported to China. And it's a crisis now in our country. If there is a pandemic, if there is a war, if there's any conflicts, China will now be able to ransom American health. And that is not a good situation. We need to bring that production home. And President Trump is committed to doing just that.
Well, sir, I think you're going to have a tough job. You have my full support, but you've got lawmakers against you. You're going to have bureaucrats against you. You're going to be working with the limits of the administrative state at the department. But I'll have your back, and I want to work with you to get it done.
Thank you, Senator
Banks. This movement. Thank you. I yield back.
Senator Blunt, Rochester.
Thank you, Chairman Cassidy and Ranking Member Sanders.
Now, here we go with this. And then listen, I don't have anything against my sisters, but we have got to be better leaders than this. If we're going to represent a nation, then you represent. But this right here, this is madness. And I'm ashamed.
Sanders, Mr. Kennedy, during our meeting, you shared your vision for the department, and we discussed priorities important to my home state of Delaware. But I must say, as a former cabinet secretary and a health official in my state, and listening to your answers today in this hearing, I am deeply concerned and shocked by your apparent lack of understanding of, frankly, some of the basic responsibilities of the department.
What is she trying to get out? Listen, child. Obviously, you are working hard to find something to come against this man with. You need to be worried about the chronic illnesses that's ailing our children right now. But come on, let's find something, because see, you look like you are one of those. I don't know. I'm not allegedly. I don't know. Are you a part of the Divine Nine? Are you guys sticking together to hurt America? That's what I know. That's what I know. You guys sticking together to keep the African American culture down. That's what she looks like. She looks like she's a part of that cabal. Anyway.
It's one of the largest, most complex, and it is vitally important. And yesterday during your finance hearing and today, you confused details about Medicare and Medicaid. You didn't know what authorities you have under the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, known as EMTALA, and you made false claims about the safety of mifepristone. However, what concerns me the most as a mom and a first-time grandmother is your decades-long track record of promoting vaccine misinformation and profiting from it, despite the harms that it may cause to American children. And with that, I'll turn to my questions. In yesterday's hearing, you did not seem to know anything about EMTALA, even though I raised it with you during our meeting last week. So I'll give you another opportunity. Yes or no, do you believe that a person presenting to an emergency room with a severe illness should have any type of emergency care needed to save their life?
Any American who the
Yes
law
or no?
says.
Yes.
I'm answering the question. Any
Yes
American,
or no was the direction.
Under the law, every American who presents to an emergency room must be treated, and I enforce that law, and I believe that's the right thing to do.
Do you agree that a person who is experiencing severe pregnancy complications should be able to receive emergency care to save their life if that care is an abortion?
My understanding of President Trump's policy is that
I'm not asking you
women,
President Trump's policy. I'm asking you, what do you believe?
Yeah.
Girl, listen. Okay, she's getting ready to
It's
get
necessary to save.
She's getting ready to get crunk on death. Okay, she's getting ready to get crunk about death. She's gonna get crunk about death. Let's go.
Life of the mother.
Okay, so you
Of
do
course,
believe,
yes.
yes, they should. Do you commit to ensuring that pregnant women will have access to all necessary emergency care, including an abortion, if it is required to save their life?
Again, death. It's all about the A word. It's all about the A word. That's how I knew she must be a Kamalaite. I mean, you don't want to ask him no other questions about the children and the chronic illnesses? You want to talk about death? To make sure death reigns, that death can happen? That's your main priority? Come on.
Life or preserve.
If it's required to save their life.
And would you agree that the ability to provide quality emergency care for pregnant women is essential to preventing maternal mortality?
Yes, these are all common sense questions. Yes. Who gave her these questions? Who elected her? Okay. Who elected Bernie Sanders? Who elected Elizabeth Warren? And who elected this young lady? Who elected them? We should come on.
Providing care for pregnant women, we should be providing care for pregnant women. President Trump wants to do that.
Yeah.
Bottom line for me, women should not be forced to rely on emergency airlifts to other states for life-saving care. And to be blunt, in our meeting, your lack of understanding really, again, was very concerning. In a 2023 interview, you described yourself saying, I'm a Kennedy Democrat. I believe in labor unions. I believe in a strong, robust middle.
Honey, why haven't you said anything yet about your community, about the Black community? What's ailing the Black community? Why haven't you spoke about that yet? Aren't you supposed to be representing us and everyone else? What are you doing?
Class, I believe in racial justice. And just yesterday and today, during this hearing and the hearing yesterday, you said we need to respect diversity. Mr. Kennedy, the Trump administration recently issued an executive order that directs the federal government to eliminate grants, contracts, policies, programs, and activities that include diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. This executive order has already caused widespread confusion, fear.
This has nothing, listen, you need to be asking about chronic illnesses, chronic diseases. What chemicals are in the food for your grandchildren and your children? That's what you need to be asking. You're asking about DEI. What? That's because you listen. Stop. We have got to stop being the victim and looking for handouts.
And uncertainty for healthcare providers, researchers, public health professionals, and service providers across the country. You said in our meeting that you understand that health disparities exist. So yes or no, do you, in your view, do the following programs count as health DEI programs? Programs that target Black women to address the maternal mortality crisis?
Senator, there are 7.
Yes or no?
I'm not going to answer that yes or no. If you want an answer, I'm happy to give it to you, but it's not a yes or no.
I just want a yes or no.
I'm not, I can't,
You
it's
can't
not
give a
susceptible to
yes or no on
answer.
that. You can't give a yes or no question, an answer on that. He has to be able to explain himself. This is not an open-ended. He has to be able to explain himself.
Answer.
Well,
Oh,
then-
if you
then-
want to
then
hear
let-
an answer, Senator.
Let me shift this because I only have
If you
36.
want to hear an
I've
answer,
got
Senator, I'm
36.
very
She is so tough. She's so tough. Okay, get it out, tough woman.
happy to
I've
give
got
you
now
one.
33 seconds. And there are people out here who want to understand that if they are at a pride parade and there are
Pride? Pride? What does a pride parade have to do with health care and chronic illnesses for the children?
a healthcare provider, can they give out a brochure?
If you
They
want
wanna
people to
know
understand,
if
let me
they are
answer the
trying to have a
question.
program in a Black church.
It's not susceptible to yes or no answer.
Well, then-
if you
then-
want to
then
hear
let-
an answer, Senator.
Let me
if you-
shift this because I only have
If you
36.
want to hear an
I've
answer,
got
Senator,
36.
I'm very happy to
I've got
give you
now
one.
33 seconds. And there are people out here who want to understand that if they are at a pride parade and they're a healthcare provider, can they give out a brochure?
If you
They
want
wanna
people to
know
understand,
if
let me
they are
answer the
trying to have a
question.
program in a Black church that is on Martin Luther.
Did she just group pride and Black together like that? Did she just do that? She didn't even put Black first. She put pride first. So let's go over her three main issues: unaliving, pride, and DEI. She mentioned nothing about the chronic illnesses that are ailing our children right now. The fact that our children cannot talk. Rate the leadership. Not even of RFK, of the Senate and the Congress. Look at these questions. How is she even in office?
King Day, will they be able to have that program? Will it be funded? Will they
What
get in
does he
trouble?
have to
Will they
do
be fined?
with the program? Listen, I'm gonna stop, y'all. Y'all rate the leadership. Don't take my word for it. We're gonna finish this. Let's just
Fired. That's the cause and concern. We all know that it is important that we have a healthy country. But
You want me
as
to
you
answer the
said,
question,
health
Senator?
honey, she thought she was gonna be bad, and then she thought, I'm gonna go to there and I'm gonna tell him, honey. I'm gonna tell him, girl, you ain't said nothing. You looking like a Kamalaite. Look like you focused on the wrong thing. We're supposed to be talking about health and chronic diseases and getting the food together and making America healthy. And you over here asking him about pride, unaliving, and DEI. Make this make sense. Who elected you?
I think I got my answer.
Okay.
Thank you, and I yield.
I got my answer. So, listen, we're going to come back to this. We are rating the Senate. We're not even rating RFK Jr. We're rating the Senate and these ridiculous questions. What do you think? Do you think the Senate is exhibiting good leadership? You tell me in the comments, thumbs up or thumbs down. And then I'll see you on the next segment of Rate the Leadership. Take care, guys. God bless.